Anthony Hartwig here with a South Range softball player profile. We are joined by Solena De Jesus. Solena, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. And Selena, when we talk about this South Range team, it's a good mix of players that were coming back from last year and new players like yourself that are stepping into a varsity role for the first time. So when you talk about stepping into this program that has succeeded so much over the last 10 plus years and to be able to have your opportunity to make an impact, what was that like for you, especially the weeks leading up to the season, knowing that you were going to get this opportunity your way?
Well, it was wonderful. I knew coming in that there was going to be five starters that were leaving, and it was just wonderful feeling because I knew I had to step it up and really shine to get my position. But I was confident going into the season that I knew I was doing. It's just softball. So yeah, it was awesome, especially finally playing for South Range High School with all of my friends because we've talked about this for so long.
With all the talent in this program, I imagine it's pretty competitive when you're trying to get roster spots. What's that done for you to be able to work hard, like you said, for the spot, and then to be able to have it and keep it once you have it?
Well, I just knew that I had to have confidence, and that's the thing that I was struggling with a little bit towards the beginning of the season, but I finally found that I just need to play softball because that's what I've been doing since I was 5 years old, and I knew I had trust in my ability, so I was fine with that.
Was there a moment when that clicked for you, where you clicked like, "Hey, this is what I need to do. This is how much confidence I should have." During the season, like you said, beginning maybe not so much, but now when we look at your stats, absolutely. So, was there a moment when you think your confidence really got kickstarted?
I think it started to heighten towards the middle of the season when I really knew that I had locked in my position as a starting center fielder and I was in the lineup and I just knew that okay, now I can settle down and play my game.
Couple of weeks ago, you went on a stretch where you had 12 RBI in just 4 games in a week. What was going on then? What was that big moment and that big turnaround for you to really have so much success?
Well, I started a new routine where I had to step in the box with a clear mind and just think about we have such a great starting lineup and the top of our lineup is really like good at just getting on bases. So I just knew that okay, we had ducks on the pond, so I just had to hit them in.
So here you come into your first district round. We're talking about the first season of being a varsity player, so it's obviously your first district round. You have 5 for 6 in the two district games that your team plays. Was there nerves? What were you dealing with mentally during these district games?
Well, I was a little nervous, but I knew that all around I had my team. They were backing me up. We always back each other up. We're such a close knit team that I started to really just settle down. And I knew that I could play my game because I had my girls behind me.
What was it like winning district championship and being a big impact for it, and not for the first time celebrating because you get to celebrate with your team last year, but for the first time being able to celebrate knowing that you had a stake in it and you had an impact in the game?
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, Jaylee, she did amazing on the mound, and it's wonderful having to finally have your dream fulfilled as all of us, most of us, except for two people, have been playing together since we were in 8U. And those are Riley and Kira Brogan. But they're just so wonderful and we love them so much that they feel like we've been playing with them since we were in 8U. So it's wonderful. I had a finally chance to celebrate with my girls.
You talk about Riley, and she's part of this outfield that includes Gianna that does not let a lot of balls drop. You guys are outfielders for life. What's it like to have this sisterhood out in the outfield? You three patrolling the big spacious outfield in that South Range softball field.
It's wonderful. I mean, Riley and G, they're both so because they're juniors, I can learn a lot from them and we're really good at communicating and talking and we're just very well connected and I know I can always go to them and ask, "Hey, did I do this right? Did I do this wrong? What do I need to fix?" And they'll always give me a straight answer.
You get to sit out there in center and watch Jaylee Wilt do her work. And there are a lot of times when she gets into a strikeout groove where you don't get a lot of balls hit to you. How are you able to stay engaged during those moments and stay focused, knowing that you could get a ball hit to you, but when Jaylee's in that kind of groove, not likely.
Well, I mean, like I've said before, Jaylee and I have been playing together for so long that it's just wonderful to see her on the mound doing what she does best. And I just think about that. I have to get the out for her. I'm playing for her. Like, I'm backing her up.
Being someone that has stepped into their first season and had so much success, you instantly become a role model for the JV players that want to do that eventually, or even the younger players that aren't in high school yet that want to be on this team in the future. They're looking at players like you that are stepping into their first year and having success. What's that been like for you, knowing that now that you're on the varsity team and you're having the success you're having, that people are watching you and they want to be where you are one day?
Well, it's exciting. I mean, like I said before, I've been playing this game since I was 5 years old, and to finally think that there are other 5 year olds that are watching me and looking up to me, it's really exciting that I know I have to do my job, and I think I have the ability to do that.
When you were little growing up watching the South Range program, which we said has been successful for a long time, who were some of those players that you watched and you looked up to and you wanted to kind of be like when you were at the first level?
Well, the one player that I really can remember is Kerrigan Yannick. I mean, she's not a Yannick anymore, but she was when I first knew her. She was one of my first mentors in softball. I mean, she was one of my first pitching coaches also. Her and Maddie, her sister. It was wonderful seeing them go to state, and I actually got to be there for that game that they played. So she's one of the ones that really stood out to me.
Do you still have like vivid memories of that state game at Firestone, watching that team in 2016, get to the state championship?
Oh, I do, 100%. I can remember their camo jerseys and all of that. I can remember sitting with my friends and thinking, wow, I want to be the one to do that.
How much do those memories fuel the hunger to get there yourself this year and to go and win these regional games and get to Firestone Stadium?
Oh, it really does, 100%. I mean, we all want to make it to state. And I think that seeing that happen for those girls really pushes me and the other girls on my team to know that this is something that is achievable. And so I think we can do it.
Selena, not only do you get to represent the front of your jersey and the South Range Raiders every time you put on a jersey, you also get to represent your family. So I want to talk about them a little bit and what makes them so special to you and what you think is so unique and special about your specific family.
Well, my parents have always been there for me since I was 5 years old. They've always wanted me to get in the box, get on the mound, do anything that I can to reach the highest level. But it was really my dad. He's always been my biggest supporter. He was my first coach, everything. He's always gone out into the yard to help me pitch if I needed a pitch, or if my hitting was struggling, we would always go work on that. He would come to all the lessons, and he was just always there for me. And I really want to thank him because I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for him.
When we talk about softball players, you got to talk about that dad coach mentality because most softball players have a dad that is trying to be their coach a little bit and is instrumental in their journey. What's the dynamic like between you two now that he gets to watch you and not coach you as much? And do you still get a lot of advice from him on things that you did in the games, and how much has he embraced transitioning into more of a supportive role?
Well, I think it's a lot less hard for him to actually like he would get really hyped up during games, and I think now he can settle down a little bit and be like, "Okay, my job is done. I've passed her on to the high school level." But he's always the first person that I go to whenever something's struggling. I'd be like, "What do I need to fix?" And he always knows. So, it's just wonderful.
All right, so we talked about representing your family. Now I want to talk about representing the school system at South Range. What makes that so important to you? What makes you so proud to be a Raider and so proud to be a part of this school system?
Well, I've been here since kindergarten, so the fact that I'm finally getting to the high school level and starting, it's a wonderful feeling that I watched those girls and now I am that girl that the little girls look up to.
When we talk about you in the classroom, what are some of your favorite subjects to study and some of the things that you love learning about?
Well, I think my favorite subject right now would be history. I did take AP history and it was a lot of work, but it all paid off in the end. I also took it with a lot of close friends, so we really helped each other. But that's probably my favorite subject.
Now I know you have a lot of time to think about your future still. You're not close to graduating yet, but when you think about things that you might be interested in or you start to think about the career paths that you think you'd be good at, does anything come to mind? Do you have any interest as far as things you want to see yourself doing in the future?
Well, I've always been told that I would make a really good lawyer because I like to argue and I'm good at getting my point across. So I would either probably go with that or I was looking towards more psychology because I love helping people. And I think those are two things that would really help me get out into the world.
All right, you have to give us one topic that you think you could debate with anybody that you feel so strongly about. And if anyone said, hey, this is how it is, and you were on the other side of it, you know that you could debate them till the end of time.
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I would probably say I'm a nerd, so I would probably have to say books or something book related, more like Harry Potter or something Marvel related, because those are the two things I think I know best.
Hey,
That and softball.
nerd and proud, Selena. Nerd and proud. Don't ever be ashamed to be a nerd out there, because, man, the world needs more of them. What's your favorite book?
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one. I think my favorite would probably be November 9th by Colleen Hoover. I know I don't like a lot of her books, but that's one that really sticks out for me. Or we just read this book for English Festival. It's called Monday's Not Coming. It was really heartfelt, and I think that's probably my favorite book, that or Colleen Hoover.
What about the favorite Marvel superhero? Since you brought up Marvel as well, what's your favorite superhero out of that universe?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would consider him a superhero, but he kind of is towards the end. I think I would pick Bucky Barnes. He's definitely my favorite. That or Black Widow. I mean, she's awesome.
If you could have any superpower in the world, whether it be a Marvel superpower or a DC superpower, it doesn't matter. If you could have any superpower, which one do you think you'd want?
Um, I mean, I'm always late for stuff, so I think probably teleportation. That would help me a lot.
Well, you don't need super speed because we know how fast you are on the base pass already. Selena, one of the things that we do at the end of these player profiles, we always give the player the chance to thank their support system, the people that have been there with them throughout their career. And I want to give you the time to, give out your thanks, give out your shout outs. We give you as much time as you want. We're not going to cut you off like the Oscars. So as much time as you want to give as many shout outs as you need, go ahead and do it.
All right. Well, first, I'd like to shout out. I mean, I already did before, but Maddie and Kerrigan Yannick, they started me off as in pitching and in softball as a whole, and then they passed me off to my new pitching coach, Erin Gabriel. She's the best, and I also hit with her dad, George Gabriel. They're both wonderful people, and I like to shout them out. And I'd like to shout out my athletics coaches, Coach George Jarecki and Gary Jones. They're wonderful coaches. I wouldn't be here without them, and I can't wait to play with them this summer. And that's it, except for I want to shout out my parents again because I wouldn't be here without them. They're wonderful. They're such a great support system, and especially my dad. And I want to thank the entire Raider community for always being there for me.
All right, Selena, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us, giving us a little insight on how your season has gone. Wish you the best of luck this Wednesday in the regional semifinals. We hope this journey goes as long as possible. We hope you're holding the big trophy at the end of it, too. So we thank you for your time. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.